Senior strategist NICOLLE WALLACE and also Obama's senior strategist Robert Gibbs. Robert, let's start with you. How did the debate go for your candidate last night?
I thought it was a great debate. I thought it was a clear and concise laying out of a plan to bring change to this country. I agree with all the polling and the focus grouping that a lot of the networks did that showed Barack Obama to be a clear winner. I think he talked about the issues that are most important to people in the economy, making health care more affordable. So I thought it was a good night and it advanced our candidacy.
NICOLLE, why don't you respond to that? From the folks we've been talking to on the set this morning, they were saying that John McCain didn't have any passion last night. There was no Bullworth moment, and that he needed one or both of those components to win this debate, and that he did not. Your response?
I want to respond to that, Mika, but I have to just pause for a moment. There are some moments in presidential politics that illuminate the theater of the absurd, and I feel like I'm in one. There was a puddle above my right shoulder that looks like it could blow at any time. I'm on a podium here in Nashville, and I have to give a shout out to Robert, who's inside and offered me his station inside, because I think when nice things happen on campaigns, they should not go unnoticed. So I wanted to give him a thanks.
That's nice.
Well, listen, I mean, I am standing on a podium most afraid not of the puddle over my shoulder, but of being electrocuted. So what was your question, Mika?
My question was just asking you to respond to what we've heard so far in terms of the reaction and the analysis to the debate last night, and that is that John McCain lacked passion, he didn't have a Bullworth moment, he didn't bring it home, and he needed one or both of those components to win the debate.
Well, listen, I mean, the times are too serious, I think, for the play-by-play commentary on any moment or any single day in a campaign trail to have much of an impact on the things people are really worried about around the kitchen table. John McCain brought the one big idea of the night, and that was an additional measure to address the bad mortgages in this country. I think everybody agrees, economists, candidates, and American families, that we need this crisis to, I think we need to start to see where the bottom is so that we can begin a debate about how to begin growing our economy again. John McCain's real primary mission last night was to make clear that Barack Obama's policies would decimate the last bright spot in our economy. That's America's small businesses. They've actually added 350,000 jobs this year, which is extraordinary. And all the bad news that you and everyone else spends a lot of time focused on, they are a bright spot. And the truth is Barack Obama would raise taxes on 50% of small business income in America.
All right,
and we think
let me follow up on that,
philosophy that isn't going to be welcome.
Let me follow up with Robert Gibbs on that. Barack Obama last night talked about higher taxes for people making over $250,000, which includes small businesses. He talked about higher corporate rates while France and other industrialized countries are cutting those rates. He talked about higher capital gains rates at a time when France and our industrial allies, but also our global competitors, are cutting those rates also. Are higher taxes really the answer in a time of economic hardship?
Yes.
Tax fairness is the answer, Joe. You're gonna pay more in income taxes because you're doing better than most people, right? Most people in Middle America
about fairness. I'm going to be fine, Robert. I really will be fine, and don't worry about me, and I'll pay my fair share. I'm concerned about how higher taxes hurts everybody top to bottom. If France is cutting taxes, if Sweden's cutting taxes, if the EU is cutting taxes, if the world is cutting taxes to become more competitive in this global economy, why would our president raise corporate taxes? Why would he raise capital gains tax? Fairness is one thing. I want a strong economy for everybody.
Well, Joe, it is illuminating to hear a Republican of your stature hold up the model of France as the economic be-all, end-all of this world.
I'm not a xenophobe. I'm not afraid of the French.
I tell you, your friends eating freedom fries just spit a few out. But look, let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. 100 million middle-class families are left out of John McCain's corporate tax cuts. If you think the answer is giving ExxonMobil an additional $4 billion, then let me speak directly to your voters. Vote for John McCain. If you want 95% of working families to have more money in their pockets with a tax cut, then Barack Obama is your candidate.
You're still talking about, well, populism instead of talking about competing in a new global market. I mean, I don't want to get into an ideological debate, but I think most economists would agree with me. You don't want to raise taxes while the economy's going down the tubes.
again, we have a net tax cut, Joe. I will send you all the information you need to get studied up on the new global economy.
Okay. That's kind of.
There's a net tax cut under Barack Obama.
Nicole, if Joe is right, why didn't John McCain bring that home emphatically last night?
Well, I think he did, and I think we'll continue to do it on the campaign trail. And listen, this isn't about, John McCain isn't for giving tax cuts to corporations. I mean, John McCain is their worst nightmare. He's come to Washington. He's taken on corruption. He, 2 years ago, sounded the alarms about Fannie and Freddie. And, you know, and he was in the arena trying to deal with what was an imperfect solution to a very dire crisis. And Barack Obama phoned it in. These are two very different approaches to how you handle a crisis. But the economy, we're not dealing with an economic downturn. This isn't a hiccup or a burp. We are in a national crisis. Our economy is in crisis. It is having global ramifications. We believe, as a philosophy, as a policy, as a message, that the worst thing to do would be to decimate the last segment of our economy that is flourishing, and that is America's small businesses. And raising their taxes, taxing 50% of small business income, would be an absolute travesty in this already sick economy.
Nicolle Wallace, Robert Gibbs, thank you so much. You all are they're both very good at what they do.
And he's a gentleman.
Robert is a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.